Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card, we are bringing through guidance for whatever it is that you're not seeing clearly right now, or anything that's kind of foggy for you right now. That's what we're bringing through. If you hear noises throughout the video, Jasper and Luna are with me, and Luna's playing about with the baubles, so that's the noise behind me. But yeah, I'm gonna get right into the video. So pile number one is the hair clip. Well, the hair, what are they called? Hairpin? Hair stick? The hairpin. That's what we have for pile number one. I just normally call it the hair clip, but I've just realized it's not a clip. Pile number two is the shell. Pile number three is, this is a hair clip. This is the flower hair clip for pile three. So see which object you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I'll see you guys at your timestamps. Hey pile one, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what guidance that you need right now to cut through the fog, and we're basically taking a look at what you might not be able to see right now, what's actually happening in your energy that maybe you're not seeing or maybe understanding. That's what we're taking a look at. So you guys chose the hairpin. I'm going to call it the hairpin. I'm going to start with tarot and then we'll move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number one, please, spirit guides. Pile number ones. Tap me into my pile number ones. What can't they see right now? What's going on in that energy that they can't see right now? What's happening with my pile number ones right now? We have the Hanged Man. What's happening in my pile number one's energy right now? Two of Swords. Nine of Swords. Okay. What's happening in my pile number one's energy? Six of Cups. One more card, please, spirit guides. One more card. And Three of Wands. Okay. Let's move these over. Okay. And the back of the deck is the Fool. Okay, first of all, when I'm tapping into you guys' energy, I think that you guys are like givers, and I think you guys are people that are like always on, always moving. Could be always growing, doing internal work. It could be always working, looking for the next mountain to climb. Like, I feel like I've always got to be doing something. There's something I'm always doing. And I'm very, like, there's an energy here of like, I'm very serious, whether it's I'm very serious about just my up leveling and my growth or healing work, or it could be I'm very serious about something I've been working on for some time. So this could be your career path, your work, a hobby, you know, something you've been studying. Like, I just feel like my head's down and I'm really kind of trotting on and being shown like soldiers kind of like marching up a hill. Like, everything's maybe in place or where it needs to be, or I'm constantly almost like on. That's honestly what Spirit's showing me. They're showing me a switch and it's like on. And there's a reference of like life and just your own rhythm. It's not meant to always be one way. And sometimes there doesn't have to be like one huge big purpose to why you're doing something or why you're moving. Sometimes you can just be and just let things flow and have fun just because, and be in that state of limbo. Because being in that state of limbo, not only is it like a reset, we're turning the lamp off for the night, it's been on all day, but also in those moments comes the ultimate growth, because as we fall back, we start to grow into something new and a new purpose comes. And there's almost a feeling of like, I'm at the end of a road, but I'm still trying to push against a wall. And there's a reference of like, not resisting the limbo. So like, think of the tide in the waters, not resisting that shift, not resisting that limbo, not resisting that fallback, because it's going to take you to a place where I feel like there's more growth. And I see like a lot of sparks of light in terms of like maybe where you want to head to next, or what you're going to build beyond what you've already done, or maybe more inner growth. But there's a reference here of like, now it's time to fall into an energy of just maybe being uncertain and not knowing, and allow things to come in the way that they're meant to. Because when I tap into you guys' energy, I'm being shown like, how do I explain it? Imagine a wheel, and on this wheel you have like rocks, and the rocks are put there, but then the wheel starts to spin, but those rocks aren't stuck to the wheel. So as the wheel starts to spin, these rocks fall off because they're meant to. They're not part of the wheel. They're meant to come off. You know what I mean? So the wheel's like spinning and accelerating, and then as it slows down, we can look at all the rocks and everything else that fell, and we can put back what fell off. But there's a reference here of like, with that accelerating wheel, I feel like your energy is kind of shifting a lot. I wonder if some of you guys have maybe like aligned with like a manifestation that you wanted to bring in, or you've been like scripting, or you've just had like a vision for something, or even like you've been working towards creating something out of your life. Like maybe you've been like saving up money and working towards something. Like I just keep feeling like, for me to be shown a wheel and rocks, it's like the physical. So I just feel like life over the next year or two physically might shift and shake up a little bit. In terms of like, I just see, there's a bit of confirmation there, but like I just see things shifting. Maybe there's like a job move or a job shift. Maybe you start working for yourself, or maybe you build something for yourself. Maybe it's like a relocation shift, because I'm being shown like movement. I keep being shown the tectonic plates, so some of you guys could be literally moving somewhere else. But I just see like physical things coming in, like we're getting an upgrade, you know, like when, you know, as time goes on, like let's just say like a department store, like a Walmart store or something like that, like as time goes on and electronics kind of advance, you get the new tills and you get the new sound system, and you know, you get all these new things, they start to move. So there's like a physical shift. That's what I'm being shown. So think of it like an upgrade, right? But things feel more physical, like things are starting to happen physically. And when I'm tapping into you guys, there's almost this feeling of like, with the Two of Swords and the Nine of Swords, I almost feel like, I don't maybe feel connected to certain things, or it could be that nothing's working the way it used to, or it's like I need to keep going and I'm trying to push through this wall. But Spirit's like, with the Hanged Man here and then the Fool at the back of the deck, there's a reference in like being in limbo for a second and just trusting this flow, and maybe even sitting and listening to like what is making you tick and what is lighting you up right now. Because I feel like this path of like limbo that you're gonna go down or have been going down, I feel like there's a purpose to it with the Six of Cups. Of there's a connection to the inner child, maybe a connection to the inner teenager, where I'm picking up things that really light me up, and I feel like they're things that are really going to aid my path in what's to come next and really spark me. So it could be like, you know, in that state, you know, you don't know, you want to be really serious and like pushing forward, but then you're called to like watch a certain movie that you did when you were a kid, or play around with something that you did when you were a kid. You're being kind of pushed to have fun and be creative. You may even start getting offers to go out places or head out places, and have fun. Like I feel like I'm dancing and I'm having fun and I'm kind of relaxing, but as I'm doing that, I feel like I'm reconnecting with parts of myself that maybe I've put on the back burner while I've been very rooted, very grounded, very serious. Again, that could be inner work healing, that could be work, that could be your career path, that could be studying something, whatever you know it is that you've been working towards. But it's like there's things that maybe you've had to push towards the background, and I feel like you're starting to the purpose of this time period and this kind of like limbo period is for you to rediscover those parts, and even discover new parts that excite you, because I keep being shown a light is sparking. I'm rediscovering things that light me up, that connect to my inner child, that connect to my inner world, that connect to my heart space, you know, that really lift me up and are making me think and wonder and ponder and have fun. And as I'm doing that, I'm kind of bringing color back into my life where maybe it's been a little black and white, because look how these are very black and white cards. And then we come here and look at the roots. The roots are multicolored. Up here we have the black and white, but here are the roots. So I feel like I'm reconnected with childhood, or things that I enjoyed in my childhood, or maybe I'm reconnecting with ideas from the past that I was interested in, or just fun things. Maybe I had a hobby where I used to dance. I don't know why I'm being shown ballroom dancing. Or maybe I had a hobby where I used to what am I being shown? I'm being shown like a picture. I'm being shown like a frame and like a picture in it. I don't know if this is photography or a painting or something like that. I just got shown something put on a wall. But whatever it is that you may have felt like it's gone on the back burner, I feel like right now there's almost like this time period where I see acceleration, but in that acceleration, you're not meant to push, you're meant to flow and reconnect with parts of you. For some of you guys, and this isn't all of you, some of you guys may even find that some wounds may come up from childhood, or I'm being shown more specifically people. So like old friends, people from the past that there were maybe there was a bit of bad blood with, or people that maybe you outgrew. I'm just seeing you kind of reconnecting with time periods where there was like joy and fun and you know, time periods where maybe you experienced love, or you experienced you know, like a fun night out, or like you know, a certain bond. And it's like you're almost going back, not to go back to them, but to access the part of you that experienced it, and to access that feeling of joy, feeling of happiness, feeling of fun, feeling of just, I feel like the wind's in my hair and I'm just doing something because, and you're being called to kind of re-access those parts of you. It's not about the people, it's about you and those feelings from those time periods. But also, again, the inner child, and like, this is where I escaped to, this is what I had fun with, this is what I lit up with, I love to read these books, I love to watch these movies, like, and kind of picking them back up to kind of reignite you. It's kind of like your cushion, and I feel like it's going to aid and help you, and it's actually also the path forward. And you falling into that, you may feel like, but wait, I'm not doing all of this inner work, but wait, I'm not, you know, pushing myself, but wait, I'm not in the gym every day, but wait, I'm not, like, there's this feeling of like, but I'm not on. And it's like, that's the point, you know what I mean? That's the point, to flow into that and have fun, because there's activations and joy. And then we literally have the Three of Wands, and as you can see, it looks like a portal, and there's multicolored energy within it. So it's like we're moving, it's naturally going to move you and take you into that new period. But there's, I wouldn't even call this respite, maybe you've even been through a period of respite, you know, but this feels more like I am this came up before in a reading, but it's making me think of the Peter Pan with what's his name? Oh, I love him so much. What is his name? Robin Williams. And in that version of Peter Pan, he's obviously like, he's Peter, but he's adulting, and he's kind of forgotten his like childlike wonder. And obviously when Huck takes his kids, he has to go to Neverland, and he's like, none of this is real, blah blah blah. But he reconnects with his inner child, and he becomes Peter Pan again, even though he's an adult, and he brings that kind of childlike joy back to the kind of real world at the end of the film. And I almost feel like that's what Spirit's encouraging you to do right now. It's like, I'm looking at these books, I'm looking at this like childlike wonder, I'm looking at things that light me up, also things that make you feel good, you know, things that make you feel beautiful, handsome, attractive, things that make you, you know, like we look at like makeup and hair and clothes and things like that. They're ways we can express ourselves. So there's something there as well about, you know, expressing yourself through certain things as well. I'm hearing some of you guys might have like deleted social media or deleted your apps. There's almost a reference of like downloading a TikTok or an Instagram or something like that and just having fun playing with like images and stuff like that. Only for those of you that are called to. But that's what I'm being shown. It's just, I want to spark joy. I want to spark fun. I want to be creative and have fun. Maybe you used to dance in your room and now you don't. Maybe you used to write scripts and stories and now you don't. Maybe you used to it could even be connecting to spirituality, like maybe you found a lot of love in spirituality and found pieces of yourself, but then maybe, and it always happens with that journey, as we go inner and inner, we start doing the shadow work, and maybe it's calling you to come out and connect to the lighter side of things connected to spirituality and things that are more soothing and light for you. That's also something that's coming through, but this feels more to do like with play. We're activating the kind of childlike wonder, because you are, I wouldn't say you're even in a transitional stage. I wouldn't even say that's where you're at. I feel like you've been moving a lot, even with the moving parts. I'm on. There's so much going on. And I feel like where you're at right now, it's like I'm looking at a painting with just grass. So the foundation's been laid. So there's just grass. And it's like, okay, let me play around. Let me activate some roses, you know, let me paint some birds in the sky. Well, what if we have the sky fade into a pink because it you know, it connects to this part of me, and it's like I'm starting to paint now. We've kind of created the outline, and we've drawn, and we've got it all there, and we were really serious about getting it perfect. And it's like I almost see you still trying to perfect things and no, we need to change this, change it, and it's like it's time to color. That's the message. It's time to color. I wouldn't say you're like, if you're feeling stuck, I wouldn't say you're stuck. It's more like a frequency change. You may be trying to do something or move in a way that either you've outgrown or that your frequency is needing to, that type of energy is needing to rest a second. So if you've been like, work, it's like, let me just rest that a second and chill for a second, and try something else. So let me add in something that brings color, you know what I mean? Because there's something you've been, this is what it is, it's something you've been perfecting. And maybe it's something you've been perfecting that maybe you just feel disconnected from. Like maybe it's a drawing and it's just like, I'm so focused on making it perfect, I've lost the passion. And it's like, okay, let's color. It's like, I want to activate the color again and have fun again. That's kind of like how this feels. But also like I want to put it all down and I want to get out into the world and I want to kind of dance and have fun, and then doesn't need to be this huge purpose. I don't need to search for the huge purpose. I just need to kind of move without a purpose for a second. The purpose will activate when it's time. It's like not everything needs to have a meaning in the sky. I just want to do something for the sake of it. I want to flow for the sake of it. I want to dance for the sake of it. I want to take that trip for the sake of it. Like that's the energy you're being called to activate. It's going to spark things within you. I hope that makes sense. Because right now I feel really in my brain, like in my mind, with the Nine of Swords being in the middle of the reading. It's like, I'm not done. It's not done. I need to perfect things. I need to keep pushing, keep going. Like that's the feeling. I need to keep going. I need to keep pushing. But it's like, let yourself have fun is the message. Pile number 1. I'm hearing Overheated by Billie Eilish. I just shared a bit of the lyric then. So that might have a message for some of you guys. Billie Eilish, Overheated. Pile 1. Please, Spirit Guides. What guidance do my pile number 1s need to hear right now? We have going forward. We have truth. One more card, please, Spirit Guides. What do my pile number 1s need to hear? Taking risks. Yeah, it's like I want to shake things up, take a leap, try something fun. We've got community at the back of the deck. We've got that rainbow energy again with the butterflies. If you've been on a bit of a solo journey, you're being called to, if you can, spend more time with friends or light up your own energy a little bit more. If you guys can't, or maybe like you don't have anyone around to do that, there's this reference of, I'm being shown like little hobbies, little fun things to do. I don't know why I just got shown an image of someone painting pots. It's like pottery or painting pots. I just got shown an image of that. But it's like bringing these things in that spark, that make me have fun, that bring me joy. And it's just because I'm not doing it for a reason. I'm not adding it to the schedule. I just want to do this and have fun. I want to enjoy and let myself be, and you know, just not swim against the tides, but not even have a purpose. Just kind of be like a jellyfish and just let myself wander. That's really what's coming through. Because with going forward in truth, I feel like with going forward, your energy's shifting anyway. I feel like you've done a level of, whether it's physical work or inner work, that's getting you to this shift anyway. So that's the work that you would have done in the past, or anything that you've worked towards, whether it's manifestation or shadow work or whatever it is you've done in the past, that's the current already starting to push you. So it's already going to lead you where you need to go. So now that you've done that work up until this point, there's that reference to kind of flow and let that carry you for a second. And with truth, I just feel like right now there's inner child connection. Like, having fun, being like wondrous, being creative. I would even say to think about like when you were younger, or when you're in your teens or early 20s, like what was it that lit you up? Like what made you have fun? There's like little things that fell off that we can bring back and get joy out of, you know, that are a part of me that maybe I've just repressed or put down. And they're like little breadcrumbs that Spirit's showing me, and I'm looking at people like reading books, watching movies, and I don't know why I'm being shown The Faraway Tree. It was a book from when I was younger, but I just got shown that, and when I'm thinking of that story, from what I can remember, they're kids, I'm sure they were kids, or they must have been kids, but they go up to this tree, and then every kind of like branch that they go up, there's like these different characters, and it's like a really kind of like a wacky book, but in a good way, if that makes sense. Because as they go up to the tree, there's like these different characters that come, and kind of like different worlds, if you will. So yeah, there's something there, like as I'm going up the tree, I'm finding these new things, and literally we have a tree here on this card, and then taking risks. I feel like it's going to spark things within you, like, oh my god, I know where to go now. I have the fire to go there now. Oh my god, I know what I want to do now. That's what I'm being shown. Yeah, so pile number 1, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey part 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what guidance you need to hear right now, and what it is that you can't see that's going on in your energy right now. So you guys chose the shell. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we'll move on to the oracle cards. So let's take a look. So pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2s. What can't my pile number 2s see right now? What's going on with my pile number 2s? What can't they see right now? What's going on with my pile number 2s? Please, spirit guides. What can't they see right now? We have the Lovers. We have the Hanged Man. We have the Ace of Wands. What's going on with my pile number 2s right now, please? 7 of Swords. Okay, one more card, please. What's going on with my pile number 2s right now? What can't they see? Justice. Okay, back of the deck is the 9 of Swords. The Lovers, the Hanged Man, the Ace of Wands, the 7 of Swords, and Justice. Okay. Okay, I keep being shown, I'm being shown like dynamics with other people, so like friendships and relationships. And I'm being shown like how relationships and friendships are sometimes mirrors, you know, for us to learn and grow, and they can trigger things within us. And I'm being shown like you guys as just souls are like very pure. I think that when you connect with people, you see them very deeply. I feel like you connect with them very deeply, and I think that you guys are quite highly sensitive. And I think that, you know, even if somebody's been in your life for a short period of time, like you do have love for them, or you do feel very connected to them, and they do leave an impact on you. I think no matter what, anything leaves an impact on you. Even if you just go through a certain experience, it does. And I keep being shown like I'm looking back at maybe like old connections or old friendships, and it's not like I'm looking at them like I want them back, but I almost feel, and this is more coming from your energy, it's like I feel like there's somewhat like unfinished business, but not in the sense of like I want that friend back or I want that relationship back. It feels more like I feel like I need to explain myself. You didn't understand me. I feel a bit misunderstood. There's also an energy of like I kind of want to get my point across. You didn't listen. But I also feel like I'm trying to untangle why. Like, there's a question of like, why did you move that way, or why did that happen? It almost like I'm going back to the scene, you know, which would be like a time period from the past, and I'm trying to make sense of it. Because the thing is when we heal from something and we go through like a certain experience, if something's hurt us or we've experienced loss or hurt or whatever it is, as we move on, it's like a part of ourselves is kind of like there still sometimes, trying to feel the emotion and understand why something has happened. And we could be like 10 years in the future, but we'll think back to that time period, and it's like that part of us is still at the scene. So we almost like, from a thought process perspective, or sometimes it could show up in dreams, we head back to the scene of the crime to try and make sense, to try and understand and try and untangle ourselves. And a lot of the time it's not even about the person, it's not even about wanting that ex back, it's not even about wanting that friend back, it's not even about what, you know, wanting that experience back. It's more so like we want to understand why. And I kind of feel like with you guys where I'm at, I keep being shown like when you have concrete and it's still moist and then somebody stands on it and their footprint's still there. I feel like I'm looking at my energy and I feel like there's markings, but it's almost things that people have maybe projected onto me, or maybe they've made me feel a certain way where it's like I feel like I need to explain myself, or I need to bite back, or I need to untangle this, I need to get that off. Like you said that I was this type of person, but I'm not. It's like I'm trying to take somebody's words off me. I'm trying to rebalance the situation with the Justice card. Like that's how I feel. I'm trying, my mind is still kind of going back there. That's really how I feel. I almost feel like I'm looking for closure in a way. Yeah, it feels like I'm looking for closure. That's what I feel. And it's like I want to go back and say my piece. I want to go back and put something right. Or I want to dissect. I want to have a conversation. I want to understand why it went the way that it did. And that's what I'm doing. And I feel like I'm being shown like a web that I'm trying to unweave and work through and try and understand. But it's not, what Spirit's saying, it's not even about them. It's about you accessing something from within. Let's take a look at what that is, because this Ace of Wands is what you're actually looking for. What does this Ace of Wands stand for, Spirit guides? What is this Ace of Wands that they're searching for with this situation? Show me the Ace of Wands energy. I feel like you've been in situations where maybe you were scapegoated, or maybe you were projected onto, or let's just say someone disrespected you, and then you decided, well, I don't like that, I'm walking away, or I don't like that, and you stood up for yourself, and then it was like, oh, well, you're the bad guy. There's something here where it's like, I still feel like there's parts of me where like, am I the bad guy? There's like a guilt or shame. You see how this fox is kind of tucking himself in? And I'm picking myself apart as much as them, because I'm trying to understand the situation. There was this TikTok of this guy, and it was like, when someone hurts me and I'm trying to psychoanalyze why they did it, and it's this guy and he's like, I don't know, maybe you were hurt in childhood, maybe this happened, maybe this happened. It was like a TikTok sound, and that's what I'm being shown, because it's like I'm trying to still make sense of something that kind of didn't make sense, if that makes sense. But what's this Ace of Wands? Tap me into this, because this is the key. What is this Ace of Wands they're trying to activate by going back to the crime, back to the site that it happened? What is it they're trying to activate? Strength. I heard this song from The Greatest Showman then, as I was putting this down. This is me. What do they sing? I'm not scared, I'm not something. This is me. I don't know the lyrics. I've never actually watched the film. But I just shared that as I put strength down. 2 more cards. What are they trying to activate here? 7 of Wands. 1 more card. What are they trying to activate with this Ace of Wands here? Let me put them like this so it's neat. What is this Ace of Wands standing for? I feel like I want to shout. I'm hearing Scream from High School Musical, where Troy's like running around the school very dramatically, and he's like screaming, and he sings, I want to scream. Back of the deck is the 8 of Pentacles. Strength, 7 of Wands, and the Page of Cups. Strength, 7 of Wands, and the Page of Cups. I feel like I want to shout. Bear with me as I tap into this, because I feel like I want to shout. Like, I want you to actually hear me or even see me in a way. Like, I want to yank my energy back off like certain people. Like, that's how I feel. Because with the Strength card, it's like, I wonder if whoever we're going back to, whether this was a family member, a friend, or an ex, I wonder if they like maybe projected and put you down a bit, or maybe controlled a narrative about you or something like that. Because I keep hearing like that's not true. Like, that's not true. And I feel like I want to I feel like I want to scream. I feel misunderstood. Like, I want you to see me. Like, I want you to see me. That's not true. But it's like, this is the thing. It's like, I want you to see me. I want you to understand me. I want you. It's like, I'm coming back to that mirror. It's like, I need you to see me. That's not true. I'm seeing like a war of words. I wonder if this is someone you've had an argument with. Because I see a part of you wanting to make peace. There's like a level of closure. But because it's a mirror, Spirit saying it's you wanting to make peace with yourself. I'm hearing self-abandonment. So maybe in the past, this could have been a situation where, okay, this could have been a situation, again, friend, family member, relationship, take it as you need to, where like, maybe you like overgave, or maybe you, maybe this person did things that maybe you didn't like, and at the time, you might have felt like you couldn't stand up for yourself, or you may have tried to keep the peace, and kind of buried it down, but at a point where maybe it was like you abandoned yourself, and it's not you doing anything wrong. When we grow up, especially if we've gone through a childhood where we've had to push our needs down, or we've had to fawn, or we've had to, you know, learn to receive love by giving and healing and fixing, or, you know, whatever it is, we tend to learn those habits. So this could have been like earlier connections where maybe they were mirroring these wounds back to you, and I feel like maybe there was a level of like self-abandonment, or just maybe not, because I feel like you're not seeing me, but it's like I'm maybe in those time periods you didn't know yet, you didn't know yet how to stand up for yourself, or it doesn't have to be that, it can also be you didn't know how to show up in those friendships as like the version of you that's like bold and stands tall, like I see you being now, because maybe you felt like you had to fold yourself in a little bit, play small a little bit, dim your light a little bit, and maybe you did that in the past to keep peace, to allow everything to, you know, move nice and calmly, and maybe it kept the peace for them, but it might not have kept the peace for you. So the version of yourself going back, it's like I was misunderstood. So the version of you that you're going back to is you activating that fire within yourself, not in like an argumentative way, but in a way of like, I'm not going to self-abandon myself ever again, and I'm not going to keep the peace. And if you want to say that I'm this or that or whatever it is, I'm not going to. I'm standing in my truth. I'm standing in who I am. And the more I'm activating it, the more I'm acknowledging that, the more that version of me I build up and I lift up. And as I walk into new connections, I'm like, this is my needs. This is who I am. I don't like this. Don't do this to me. The more I'm building that up and building that up and building it up, I'm activating that part of me where there's no more self-abandonment. I'm building myself up. I'm staying put for myself, and I'm standing in my own needs. I'm standing in who I am, because I feel like there's parts of you that actually did. This is it. There are parts of you, and maybe big parts of you, that maybe in the past did stand up for yourself. This is it. I think some of you did stand up for yourself in the past, and this is where it's coming from. I think maybe in the past you got to points where it was like, enough is enough, I'm telling people off, or enough is enough, I'm walking away. It could have been a peaceful walking away. It could have even been, I'm standing in my truth, I'm going against the grain, I'm standing in this. And maybe you were met with people that maybe were meant to be on your team that try to fight against that. You see how it's coming full circle? You had people that were trying to fight against that. So you learned then that standing in your power letting yourself raw, standing in that fire. I see you've been doing it actually. That's why you've been met with people poking at you. No, go back down, play small again, dim your light again. I don't like this. And that's why I feel like even though I'm standing in that light and that fire, I'm kind of still turning on myself. Like, maybe I was too harsh. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Maybe I am the one in the wrong. Maybe I'm the bad guy. And this is why I'm still kind of like telling myself that. But it's things that people would have thrown at you. And this is what you're learning to do. You're learning to stand in that fire unapologetically. Hold your boundaries very firmly and unapologetically. I love you. I'm going to hold space for you. I'm going to show up for you, but not as a result of self-abandonment of myself. And I feel like maybe there were times where sometimes you might have faltered in that, but I feel like when you needed to, I feel like you have stood up for yourself or activated things or stepped away. And I feel like that's where certain people in your life, whether it's a relationship, friendship, whatever, has maybe like turned on you or hasn't liked that, and you've had to step away. And because you're a sensitive soul, which is a beautiful thing, you're a deep soul, and because you've cared about people you've been in relationships with, and you've cared about people that you've had friendships with, and you've cared about, you know, family members and the connection you've had to them, when they've fought back or not liked you standing in your power, that's hurt. So you've maybe taken those words in and you've gone, oh my God, like maybe I am the bad guy, maybe I'm not a good person, maybe this, maybe that, as you're still standing in that fire. But what you're going back to that site is you're going back to the crime scene, quote unquote, to sit with the version of you that felt that you had to abandon yourself. And you're going back to sit with that version of you and sit with the feeling of whatever it is that maybe you were made to feel in that time. Maybe people made you feel guilt. Maybe people made you feel shame. Maybe they made you feel like you were too much for asking for a certain need. Maybe they made you feel too argumentative and controlling for saying no to something. Let yourself sit in those feelings. Shame, guilt, maybe I am the bad guy. Let yourself feel into that. Hold yourself as you're doing it. Let yourself feel it through, because once you felt it through and you've released it, you'll be able to see it from that balanced perspective and go, yes, you made me feel that way. However, these are my needs. These are my boundaries. Maybe you didn't show up for me in the way that I needed to. That's why I had to pull back. Maybe you were taking too much from me. That's why I had to put the boundary in. If that upsets you, if you need to project onto me, that's your issue. It's not mine. I do not have to take on whatever it is that you're saying to me. And I don't need to look for a reconciliation or go back to that and wait for you to see me, because you're probably going to misunderstand me anyway. And I'm going to stand in this truth, and the right people are going to see me and they're going to understand me. And the more I pour in to that version of me that felt that I needed to people please, or felt that I needed to self-abandon, or even when I was standing in these emotions and speaking my truth, that part of me was wincing, you know, and started to take on the words that were being said. Even when I feel that, it's like I'm going to sit, I'm going to hold that version of me and show that version of me. I'm allowed to put boundaries in. I'm allowed to have needs. I'm allowed to walk away from something that isn't serving me. I have the right to connect to my own happiness. I have the right to connect to my own fun. I have the right to connect to my own peace, and anything that takes away from that, I have the right to say no to it. This is my energy, and if somebody's bringing me chaos, if somebody's dimming my shine, if I have to play small to keep peace with someone else, I am allowed and I have the right to step away from that, and I'm going to stand in that. You know, that's the part of you that you're going back to those sites. There's feelings still trapped in maybe connections, relationship, friendships, family situations, where there's maybe feelings of shame. I shouldn't have done that. Oh my God, I'm too argumentative. I'm too much. I'm too needy. I'm too emotional. I'm too much of this, and that. Whatever was projected, sit with those feelings. It's going to be comfortable for a second, uncomfortable for a second. Sit with them. That version of you that felt like, oh, maybe I should have just played small, maybe I should have just kept the peace. It's that version of you, you know, that maybe you kind of got lost in the sauce as you were finding your raw, as you were finding that fire, as you were starting to walk away. It's like a version of you. That version of you is calling out to you, bringing you back to the crime scene to go, these are feelings I still have. These are feelings I still have. Sit with them, feel them. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. It's like a healing thing, you know, maybe we're listening to music, movies, reading books or watching movies or listening to music where things empower you and let you feel out, you know, where you felt misunderstood or you felt like you've been projected on unfairly, or whatever it is, allow yourself to, you know, feel and then lift yourself up from there. And that's going to be you untangling yourself, like the web, untangling yourself from these situations. Because you don't, if somebody's genuinely like, if it's at a point where someone's genuinely being horrible, I'm not talking about like a little argument with someone and it's like, yeah, we can talk about it and get closure. This feels like something way deeper than that. This feels like something where you are really bogged down by. This feels like someone that might have really projected onto you. This feels like something that you would have really got affected by. And if something's affected you that much to the point that someone has been a bit malicious and hurt you and projected or whatever it is, you have the right to walk away. You don't have to explain yourself in those situations. If somebody's constantly beating at you, you have the right to just step away from that, you know? And sometimes as well, and this is just something that I found comfort in, and it might, you know, give comfort to you guys. Sometimes we try to understand a situation, but sometimes it's not meant to be understood, because sometimes people don't. We try to look for logic in the situation of like, why did that person cheat on me? Why did that person be mean to me? Why did that person bully me? We try to look for logic, but a lot of the time when people are moving like that, there's no logic to it. And that's the thing, our brain's trying to look for logic, but there isn't any logic to what's going on. They're just, people are sometimes webbed in their own wounds, and hurt people, and people that are triggered lash out. And that happens, and we've all done it. I've lashed out at people, like, it happens. And sometimes there's no logic behind those movements. And sometimes we can get stuck in trying to make sense of something that just, there was no sense to it. You know, that there was no sense to it. That person could be stuck in their own chaos. The same way, like, when we loop back to a time period, there isn't really sense to it, but it's our own web being weaved, and, you know, going back to that scene and feeling the emotions kind of frees us, you know. So sometimes things just aren't meant to make sense the way other people move, and we can get trapped in trying to find out why. And a lot of the times I've found we get trapped trying to understand, but sometimes we're trying to understand and we're avoiding the actual feeling. You get what I mean? We want to know where, when, who, what, why. How could it have been different? How could it have changed? How can I find the closure? We're thinking and we're thinking and we're thinking, but we're not feeling. We're not just sitting with the feeling. We're trying to understand, so we're avoiding the feeling. And this is what's sure, it's the feeling. There's a part of you still sitting and feeling shame, still sitting and feeling hurt, still sitting and feeling, it's like I'm poking back at myself. I'm looking at myself with shame and guilt. I know it's going to be uncomfortable to sit with it, the feeling, but sitting with it, allowing it to flow, I feel like that's going to kind of liberate you, and you'll find you don't go back to this situation the way you once did, you know. So 3 cards, 3 oracle cards, please, spirit guides. What am I pile number 2's not seeing? What am I pile number 2's not seeing? We have miracles. We have taken risks. And we have protection. I just shared, when I put the protection card down, rejection is divine protection. I just shared that. The back of the deck is trust. Okay, miracles, taking risks, and protection. Why do we have miracles? Why do we have miracles? Thinking of when I'm looking at the card, you know the song from Encanto where Mirabelle's like, the song's called Miracle, and she's like, she sings about waiting on a miracle because her whole family like have certain gifts and she doesn't have a gift, and she's kind of like waiting for her family to kind of really see her and understand her, and the thing is that she had the gift all along, which was to keep the family intact and kind of together. I keep being shown like your sensitivity and your depth and the way that you see people and understand people, and I see that light within you, and I see you looking at even people that have done you wrong, and it's like you still see the light in them, and you know, through that trying to understand, because you try to understand people. I feel like you understand, you're going through this and this is why this happened, you're going through this is why this happened, and it's like I'm turning you round to yourself, and it's like having that same compassion towards yourself, of like, you didn't know any better, so of course, you know, you people pleased at the beginning of that friendship, but you found your voice towards the end, and maybe it wasn't as perfect as it could be, but who is? Like, I see like people moving in not the best way, and you still having compassion and understanding, and then I see you maybe like once or twice messing up or having to really tell someone off, and you're giving yourself the hardest time for doing that, but you're giving somebody else so much compassion that isn't even thinking about it, you know, they've moved past it, they don't, you know, they didn't think about how they made you feel, and you're sitting there having compassion, but then with yourself it's like, you shouldn't have done that, why did you do that, you know, you shouldn't have stood up for yourself. And I kind of want to turn you around to yourself, and it's like I'm nurturing every part of me, not just like my inner child or the version of me going through it. It's like even the part of me now, and like sit with myself and soothe myself and give compassion to myself. Like, I was going through this, and I was experiencing this, and I did what I needed to at the time, and it's just having that compassion for yourself. I almost feel like at times with the Seven of Swords I'm picking myself apart, but I understand how to have compassion for everybody else, and it's like bringing that compassion back to yourself. That's what I'm hearing, and I keep hearing Miracle from Encanto, and I'm being shown the scene at the end of Encanto in the song All of Me, where she puts a doorknob on the door, and the grandmother Abuela, she's like, what do you see? And then she's like, all of me, and it's like a reflection of herself back, and as she puts the doorknob on, like she realizes then her power was like fixing everything up, and then everyone gets their power back. So she was the one kind of gluing it together, and I just think that you're a really compassionate person. I hope no one's ever made you feel like you're a bad person, because I see you, and I think that you guys have such a beautiful light, and I think that you guys have beautiful hearts, and I really hope somebody hasn't made you feel that way. And even when you have like, oh, I feel emotional saying this, but even when you have like sensitivities and you connect to people deeply, like I hope nobody's made you feel like your depth was too much, or your needs were too much, or your mind was too much, because the way you are is like enough. And I think that's something you've been building and working up, but you're being called to sit with those parts of you that maybe still feel like, oh, I shouldn't have, this has happened, and I shouldn't have done this, and this has happened, because I just, there's a reference of nurturing those parts of you. You're not too much, you're not enough. When you stand up for yourself, if you had enough of somebody, you know, kicking at you, you're allowed to be angry sometimes. You're a human being. You're allowed to be angry sometimes, and you're allowed to be frustrated, and you're allowed to walk away from things, and sometimes it's not as perfect as we'd like it to be, but you're allowed to do those things. And I really hope no one's made you feel like you're a bad person for choosing yourself or walking away, because with taking risks, I feel like you have put people in that place. I started off feeling like maybe not, but as I got in, I kept being shown no, we have stood up for ourselves, this is the thing, people have then projected. So then it's that version of me that in the past I used to self-abandon, that version of me still going, maybe I shouldn't have done this, and now I'm poking myself. And we have protection here, so I just feel like there's a reference of listening to as well, moving forward in connections. If something angers you or frustrates you or makes you feel a little sad, sit with it, because these emotions are there to protect us. Even our shadow self is there to protect us, you know what I mean? And there's a reference when these things come up to sit with them, like, what is it protecting me from? Because if we get angry, a lot of the times it's because somebody's, you know, stepping over a boundary or poking at us, and that anger is showing us, I don't like that, you're making me feel small, or you're putting me down. And we're allowed to honor that and maybe say something. We're allowed to do that. I feel like at times you've wanted to say something or wanted to point something out, and people have pushed you back. But then we have trust here at the back of the deck. And as you can see the water behind, it's like trust your inner world, trust your emotions, trust your feelings. Yeah, so pile number 2, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading, and I hope you got what you needed and I helped you shine a light on something you've been confused over. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did enjoy the reading, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pile 3, welcome to your reading. So if you guys chose the flower clip, this is your reading, and we are bringing through guidance and messages for the fog that you may have right now. If you guys have been struggling with something, struggling to not see something clearly, we're basically bringing through guidance for that. So let's get straight in. So pile number 3, please spirit guides, tap me into my pile number 3s. Tap me into my pile number 3s. What can't my pile number 3s see right now? What are my pile number 3s struggling to see? Bear with me, your cards just ran away. We have the 3 of Pentacles. Let me sit back down. I'm sad. Okay, pile number 3, please, spirit guides. What is going on with my pile number 3s right now? What can't they see? 4 of Cups. Queen of Pentacles. 5 of Swords and the Devil. Let me move these over so we can get them all in. Okay. Back of the deck is the King of Wands. Okay. Let's take a look. 3 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, and the Devil. Okay, as I was tapping in, I kept being shown like static. So like as if I was in my mind almost, and everything was just very like static and fuzzy and lots of noise and chaos and so much going on. And yeah, that's how it feels. And the way I'm being made to feel now, you know, when you're really overstimulated, I get it all the time when I go into you know, like the big stores in the UK. We have like Tesco and Morrison's, and I don't know what you have everywhere else. I know in America has like Walmart and Target. I don't know what they are everywhere else. But yeah, like, you know, when you go into one of those stores and it's like a busy day, and I try to avoid those days, and you've got the music blasting, and then you've got the tannoy going, and then they're like, this person come to reception, and then you've got like kids screaming and you know, parents shouting, and you've got everyone chattering, and like the lights are really bright, and it's like, oh my god, I'm so overstimulated. And then add in if it's like summer and it's really hot as well, and it's just like, oh my god, like what's going on? And there's just so much to choose from, and you're like, oh, that's how I feel tapping in. Like there's lots of noise and color and everything's happening at once, and then it's like I'm kind of not getting, I kind of forgot why I came here. I've kind of forgot what I was trying to buy at the store. Like that's how it feels. Like there's just so much. And bear with me as I'm tapping into this, because I just feel really fuzzy a second. I'm being shown like a drilling down into the ground. But I'm thinking of like, Spirit showing me like concrete and rocks and things that are very physical. Think of the vibration and the frequency of a rock compared to, let's just say like the Fae, you know, the energies of the Fae. They're very like fast, high pitched, high frequency. And then you have like a rock and, you know, something very grounded and earthy. Think like a worm under the ground or a snake under the ground. And think of like the earthy energies, and we're moving slow. When you think of worms, they move really slow, and everything's grounding and slowing down, and it's like now I'm able to see things better, and now I'm like drowning out the noise, and I'm going deep into the earth. And that's what I keep being shown, like a solid foundation of like, let's just say like the physical world. When we move in the physical world and we build things in the physical world, one by one, brick by brick every day. And it's like, as I'm doing that, whereas everything was in a blender and it was like multicolored, I'm now separating the reds from the blues from the yellows, because now that I've stopped and I'm moving slow, I'm able to see red, yellow, blue. And you see how I'm speaking slower? Like I'm rooting things in. I wonder if you have a lot on your plate at the moment. I wonder if you have a lot, whether it's like physically a lot on your plate, like you could be wanting to move house or wanting to start a business, or your business could be booming, but it takes a lot from you. And you know, some of you guys will have kids, so there's that in the mix. And I'm there's just like a lot going on, and it's like I'm struggling maybe even to make things happen in the physical or make things move in the physical. Maybe I'm staying stuck. Like maybe I'm wanting to start a new hobby or build something new or try something different, or maybe just find like a little bit of peace or have fun. Or I see like I've got a list and I'm never getting around to the things I really want to do, but it's because there's too much on my list. Like I'm being shown like a list of going to the park, and it's like go on the slide, go on the swings, go on the roundabout, go on the the tunnel, like, you know, go on the monkey bars, like go on all of these things. And like I'm there now, and there's just so much going on, and it's like I didn't even get done half of what I wanted to do. So there's this reference of like kind of not scrapping the list entirely, but like I feel like day by day, let's focus on one thing for a second. That's kind of like how it feels. I want to drown out the noise. Bear with me. I'm having a bit of trouble to ground a second. But there's so much going on that even like, it could even be like the nervous system. Like my nervous system feels a bit fried. Like I'm always doing something. And again, think about phones. Like when you're on TikTok, you're scrolling through TikTok and it's like, 1 minute you've got somebody, you know, crying and going through a really hard time, and you're moved by that, and you're like, oh my god, this person's going through a hard time. And then you swipe, and then it's like an ad for hair clips or something, and then you scroll again and it's a joke, and it's like we've just gone through 3 different emotions all at once. Like, can you imagine that in the wheel? So think of that on the phones, think of that on in every day. Maybe you have a job that's very demanding, and there's just like a lot going on, and there's a reference here of bringing in slowness and not forcing too much at once is the message here. Like maybe you have a goal, but you want to get it done like by the end of the month, and then there's so much to do that it's like, well, you're not going to get that done then. So it's like, instead of like it being done by the end of the month, giving yourself like a 6-month period and going, this month I'll focus on this month I'll focus on this month I'll focus on this. And that really does help, not having those kind of more realistic goals and taking our time. I remember going into last year, and for a while I'd wanted to start doing personal readings, and I wasn't driving at the time, and I was like, I really need to get my driving license now, like this is getting ridiculous. And I was like, I need to sort this out. And I was always putting all these things off because I was focused on other things. And I remember going into that year and being like, right, January, sort this out. February, call a driving instructor. Like, it's as simple as that. March, build your website. Like, April, start doing personal readings. And I kind of was like, every month, just like this one thing. So by the end of the year, it's like, okay, we're driving and we're doing personal readings, and we've been doing it all year, and this is happening now, and this is happening. And just from those just physical things, it was just each month, just that one thing, you know what I mean? Sort the workroom out, do this, and it's just monthly, you know? Whereas if I would have tried to do it all, I would have stressed myself, got nothing done, and by the end of the year I would have been in the same place as before. So I needed to slow it down and give myself that realistic goal of like, let's just move slow, and it's okay, and we'll just do it one by one. Yes, it feels like a stretch. In a year's time something's going to be done, but if we keep rushing with all of the colour, we could be a year forward and still nothing's done. So I want to start, but start slowly. And that's what's coming in here. It's like I'm wanting to drown out noise as well. I want to look at like where things are really taking my energy here. Because I feel like you guys actually are very energetic souls. I feel like you guys especially with this King of Wands at the back of the deck. I feel like you guys may be very creative. You guys feel like, and I always say this, each soul, when I tap in, especially when I do like Akashic readings, like on my personal readings and stuff, when I tap into each person's higher self, I'm always shown like a dominant chakra, basically, that they work through, and that kind of leads them through this life. And for some people it's their third eye, and some people it's their heart chakra. For you guys, it feels like I'm taken to the fire element, so the solar plexus. I feel like you naturally have a lot of fire in you. I feel like you naturally have a lot of fight in you. You have a bite to you. I think that you are creative and you're fun, and it's like there's just a lot here. So there's a reference in really grounding that, and you know what I mean. Also taking a look at where that fire is diminished. Is it when you are stressed because you're putting too much on your plate? Is it when you are overstimulated? Is it when you're too much on your phone and it takes all of your energy there, and then you have no room to do the other things? And there's a reference then of tying things in, maybe putting boundaries in of like, I'll be on my phone from this point to this point, or I'll be on my I'll start working on something from this point to this point. And it's like structuring things, rooting things with this Queen of Pentacles in the middle, rooting and taking my time, you know. It reminds me of my mom. Love her, but she's very like, she was talking about doing the garden, and she was like, I'm gonna get this massive day bed, and the garden does not, it's not a big garden, so the day bed would not have fit in there. And I was like, Mom, we haven't even pulled the weeds up yet, and you're talking about this massive day bed that you're gonna get. And it's like, you're rushing too forward. Let's just focus on, like, let's pull the weeds up first, and then maybe we can focus on going and purchasing some plants. But like, we don't need to buy a massive day bed and put it on top of the weeds. Like, we're going too far forward. Let's just move slow, and maybe we could get a version of the day bed that fits the garden, you know. And it's like, she has that fire and the creative, and it's there, which is beautiful. But sometimes we need to ground it to make it come into the physical. And I wonder if some of you guys have been struggling to bring something into the physical, or manifest something in the physical, or get emotion going. Because as you've got all the idea and the fire, and you've got it all. Like, I feel like you're very creative souls, but it's like, I'm struggling to direct the fire, because maybe things are taking me out of it. Maybe I'm putting too much stress on myself, and I'm telling myself it all needs to be done by the end of the month, and then I'm procrastinating and getting nothing done. So it's this slow moving, and 1 month I'll do this, or it could be 1 week I'll do this, and the next week I'll do this, whichever one fits for you guys. But we're learning to ground and root. And I would say maybe some grounding practices for you guys would be helpful, because it's not that you can't see where you're going. This is different to pile 1 and 2. With pile number 1 and 2, it's like, right, this is happening for you. But with you guys, you know where you're going. I even would go so far as to say some of you guys have psychic foresight. You know what you're building towards. You know what you want to activate. You know where you're headed. It's just maybe you're running and then tripping over it, or things are maybe not being brought into the physical because there's a reference of slowness and taking your time and nurturing something one by one, and not forcing yourself to get the garden. Let's just use the garden analogy. Not forcing yourself to get the garden done and painted, and pots and flowers and new table and chairs, and, you know, lounges to sunbathe on, and maybe a little lake. You know, it's like, yes, but like, let's January do the weeds, February maybe buy some flowers, March repaint the walls, April, you know. And it's like, we're taking our time, so by summer the garden's sorted, you know. That's what I'm being shown. And there's something about you putting too much on your plate. Slow and steady, because I see you then looking at a list with loads of things to do, and then it's like, oh my god, that's way too much. And then it's like, I'm getting nothing done because it's just like, it's too much. My brain's trying to like pull me away from it. It's like, there's too much. Whereas if it's like the one thing a day, it's like, oh, all I've got to do today is this, and then on Tuesday, oh, all I've got to do today is this, and then we get things done, you know. Ooh. So pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3. Your cards are running as well, like your cards are flying away from me. I would even get like a notepad. The thing is, I feel like you make lists anyway. I feel like you already have ideas of what you need to get done, but I feel like I want to, like, let's just say, look at where I want to be a year from now, and it's like, write down everything that needs to be done, and then maybe section it into, doesn't need to be done right now, this can't be done till I've done something else, these are the easy things that I need to lay the ground with first. So then the easy things, it's like, okay, this next 3 months I'm going to do this, this, and this, the very easy things to do. So then you slowly take your time and you do that, and it's like, right, okay, what was on the second part of that list? The medium things that might have been a bit, bigger. Okay, well, it's pretty easy to do them now because we've already got those foundations set. You know what I mean? So now let's do that. And you're building the blocks, you have flow here. I'm going to pull 2 more cards so we can really see the kind of like message of these ones. But we've got flow, stillness, stillness. If you hear my stomach growling, apologies. It's my lunchtime in like 10 minutes. One more card, please. Spirit guides. One more. Oh. Simplicity. Literally, simplicity. So you have stillness and simplicity. And flow. The back of the deck, you have miracles. Yeah, see that fire you already have in you. I'm getting that with the miracles card at the back of the deck. You already know where you need to go. It's not that you need direction. It's not that you need to see something you're not seeing. I think you're very aware. And that's the thing, you're hyper aware of everything, which is great. So now we want to root to get things done and sow things in. Flow, stillness, and simplicity. There was this quote, I think it was a quote from Buddha, I'm sure it was, and it said something like, if you don't have the time to meditate, then you need it the most. Don't quote me exactly as it being like that, but it was a quote like that, like those that feel like they haven't got time to meditate are the ones that really need to sit and slow, and that's a message coming through here. But I want to drown out the noise, you guys. Like, I want to like stop doom scrolling. Like, this is the message here. It's like drowning out the noise so you can just focus on something. So it's like stopping doom scrolling and stopping. I keep feeling like stressed because I'm putting too much on my plate. Or I'm creating a list. I know where to go, but I'm putting way too much on the list to get done. I'm creating like too high of an expectation. Maybe there's a level of like perfectionism. And Spirit's like, where are you going? Like, it's just flow, flow, take your time. Do this week. That can happen next week. Like, flow. Don't stress yourself. Like, and listen, you know what I mean? Listen to what you need as well. You also have needs and feelings, and allow time for that too. So that it can be fun for you as well, But with simplicity and stillness, I do want to take things off my plate and stretch it out. And I also just want to drown out noise. Like, I want to tell the tannoy in the store, stop. Let's turn that off for a minute, I want them to be like, I want them to turn the lights down and make it a bit more dim. Like, that's what I feel like I want to do. And then while I'm listening to that rhythm, it's like, okay, I have time for this week, or I have time for that this week. I'm accessing my rhythm more, and all the noise isn't taking me out of it. That's the message. But I feel like a lot of you guys maybe already know that as well. Like, your path feels like you already know. I'm not telling you things you don't know. It's more a reminder, because I feel like you see a lot because you're so aware of what goes on in your own energy anyway. And you're so aware of where you're headed. So it's like, I know where I'm headed. So it's like, knowing that, it's like, I need to get this done, and it's like, slow. You know where you're headed, so it's going to come anyway. Just take your time. Definitely have like psychic foresight, a lot of you guys. So that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you got what you needed from the reading today. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.